Teams now scrolling bottom of your screen. A consistent back three. Zamori, Gabiana, Pavlovic. 8 of the 11 players on the pitch have started every match for Milan so far this campaign. It's one of the things that Allegri gets to do with no big European football loves to pick a consistent team. Gatti lifting that one, switch the play. Some Markers goes on to win it. Julius can't control it. Cambiaso playing with McKinney. And now Kelly on the third. Kelly slightly back for Kalulu. Air defenders fall forward. Calls a sound. Again, driving that one around to this time. This time. Goes to the corner. And again, going short here. Juventus with the corner. Calls a sound. Get it back in and lift it. And Gatti denied nearly a second goal in as many games. He gets it back again. Doesn't know what to do. Tries to strike through. Gatti will go for it. It'll come back out on Kelly. Gatti can hardly believe it. Ball fell to a point-blank range. And Magnan just made himself as wide as possible. He closed his eyes and played. And it was shot straight into the belly of Magnan. Another golden chance for Juventus. And earlier on, we're saving the season. Yeah, here's how it materialized. Let's see first was a shot straight at Magnan. Basketball connected. On the volley. Oh, Magnan just trying to make himself as big as possible on the near post. There's a reason they call it magic like Chris. It's not because of the moving. Cambiaso will go short, but it's right at Modric. Always idea. Basically, what was needed and the results in a yellow card as well as Modric is taken down to slow down that break. Not sure what the idea was there. Cambiaso with a wasted opportunity. Everyone forward on the set piece, and it's passed straight to a Milan player. That was a bizarre set piece. And it is a booking as well for Manuel Locatelli. McKinney winning the header, David unable to get to it. But Federico Gatti has both of the efforts on target for Juventus in this match. But that one is absolutely the defining chance of the game. And an early candidate for saving the season as well for Magnan. Blocking that from 4 yards away. So impressive. Free kick. Pavlovic. David going in, Rugani carrying there, Santi Jimenez. Pavlovic looks much improved with the ball at his feet this season. It's a new position, offside in his back three, maybe allowing him to venture forward a bit more. Just looks a bit more composed on the ball. Well controlled by this cross Jimenez, but Kelly got in the way. Jimenez making that run to the back post that he needed to. Pavlovic and Modric. Well bent around the corner into Rabiot, but Gatti invited to slide in and poke away to safety. Here's Rabiot. This back into Kalulu. Pavlovic. Modric. Cross for Alexis Makers. every time Modric just drops back right next to Gabia to retrieve the ball. Look at how wide Pavlovic and Tomori are, allowing Salamakers to move inside of it. Kelly taken down from behind, and there will as well be a suggestion from Jimenez of a red card for a possible denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. And the referee, Marco Guida, has pointed to the spot here. That's a really well-timed run. Ball over the top, and it does look clumsy from that angle from Lloyd Kelly. Does he just pull him down? Was there enough contact there? It's a great ball from Modric. Again, it's the run from Jimenez, which sets it up right there. Kelly looks clumsy. Let's go to Christina Uncle, our law expert. Yeah, Christina, the two questions here are, is this a penalty, and is this a red card?
Oh, yes, I would have penalty for this decision. And when you give a penalty for this decision, because it is not an attempt to play the ball, but it's an upper body field, that is where the red card consideration is for denying all this goal scoring opportunity. One thing that might take it away is potentially having that challenge, but I would recommend that it should be a red card, because if you're giving this as penalty for Doxo, then you have to give a red card.
Doesn't look as though it will be given. Thank you, Christina. And it is Pulisic who once again assumes that mantle of main man for Milan, stepping up to take this penalty. It's a great point from Christina. It's a similar talking point as when Estupiñán was red carded last week for pulling down Milan, so a clear goal scoring opportunity, penalty and on card. No red. And so will be Pulisic, who was 4 for 5 over penalties last season. Pulisic! It's Pulisic who stepped up. Pulisic who converted. So he had to get a goal against Pulisic, who hasn't won for all this season. Just absolutely skies it. He's trying to pick up that top corner. If it works out, Dicanagalia's not getting a touch, even if he gets this the right way. Hands on his head, he cannot believe it. Everything Pulisic has touched so far this season has been golden. Modric showing his leadership, doesn't want Pulisic to look down at the ground. Oh, it's a lifeline for Juventus here. And this crowd suddenly in full voice as well. The Milan attacking once more through Bartisagi. Pulisic. He quickly make it. Pulisic driving towards that corner. Dicanaglia well behind him. And lifted towards McKennie, but Tomori got in the way. So both teams have had gilt-edged chances inside the first 10 minutes, neither able to convert, and another appeal for a free kick. This one's going to be given here as Fofana went down into the area. Just a quick question for Christina Uncle. Said it was a red card, so what is the referee in the VAR thinking to not give the red card in that occasion?
Yeah, and that was the one I was talking about, was that likelihood of control, right? There's 4 considerations for Doxo, and since the ball was still in flight, yes, it was going to drop into that zone. The question is, would he have been able to control it, bring it down, and then put it in the back of the net? Because there's a debate as to what the greater chance of that likelihood of control, they're going to go down one and only give a penalty for it instead of a Doxo red. And that's why the VAR did not recommend for a clear and obvious error.
Thank you, Christina. Kelly not even picking up the yellow for that one. And there's Pulisic watching that one sail over the bar. Kelly the culprit as well for this chance as well. Cross position normally would favor that left-footed striker. You see Jimenez and Pavlovic, 2 left-footed players behind it. Modric as well, who might just slide it in with his right. Who normally gets the last touch is the one who's going to strike it, and Jimenez just getting the ball right where he wants it, checking the pitch. Who gets it? It will be Santiago Jimenez into the wall. Work to do still for Di Gregorio. Punches away. Rugani to lift his safety. Only as far though as Bartizani.
Could Di Gregorio not have claimed that ball?
Coming under pressure quickly, Kalulu. 1-2 there from Rabiot, so it will be a free kick. Second half has come to life. No matter the result, both coaches will think about their biggest moments to score. For Tudor, will be that chance for Gandhi. For Milan, it will be that chance for Pulisic to convert that penalty. Yes. Pavlovic. Sort of interesting in the moments after those sorts of big chances, they almost have aftershocks. They've affected the tempo and the timber of the game as well. Kalulu. And Gatti will just lift away. There's not really a ton of distance forward on that clearance. Judge there from Salamakers and Pulisic controlling. And back with Rabiot. Can't get it and get turned. Little touch around the corner, but cover there from Rugani. Straight from Di Gregorio, but doesn't eventually get onto it. That was a clearance of Rugani, but just gave Milan a second chance. Distance straight at Di Gregorio. All of that one. Trying to catch it this time. First time, and nearly left it on the doorstep for Milan to clean up. A yellow card shown as well for that ensuing counter-attack being broken up here. Bartizani sticking that arm out. Getting booked for it.
Bartizani's just had a really tough time today with Conceição. Thrown into the fire right away because of that Stupinian suspension. That's the really tricky customer in the Portuguese player. Never run out of play there. Modric. Bartizani flicking on. Couldn't find Pavlovic. Off goes Conceição. One Kalulu into the attack. Lovely early ball. Milan always going to get to it first. Conceição again, it's the walk right. He's able to win that shoulder to shoulder with Pavlovic, retain possession. This is the higher to Milan. He can tie it. Finally, Milan got a new sporting director to help kickstart the project after a mid-table finish last season. Pulisic will lift it towards Jimenez. Back heel flick, it's a good idea. Salamakers whipping with that far to Sanchez. That's a poor cross. Salamakers, who's been one of the better players this season, just completely fights it over everyone else. Now, these would be changes. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who lately really rates, played a as a second striker, as one of the midfield three, as a traditional box-to-box. Gotten way more time than he did last season when he had some fitness issues, but fell out of favor with both Portuguese managers, Paulo Fonseca and Sergio Conceição.
Also going to call it to the England national side as a result.
He's had some good moments this season on LC.
Long ball from Gatti helping Juventus get up the pitch. Now the referee will hold the throw-in to allow for the change. That is Saki Jimenez leading away. It's Fofana as well. That's Rafael Leao will join Loftus-Cheek to enter.
And this is the look that we saw in preseason when Leao was healthy. Leao and Pulisic playing as the two makeshift strikers, not giving the defense a reference point. Doesn't yet have 90 minutes of his legs laid out after that injury, but if he gets tired the next 30 minutes, he can cause so much havoc.
Came on last week when Milan went out to 10 men against Napoli. Did a lot of the running by himself. A great image shared around social media. We took on 7 defenders. Said after the game that it was hard in terms of his breathing. That fitness just coming back into his lungs after more than a month out with injury. Okay, so they hit that switch, but difficult here for Conceição. Let's take down Healy. Rugani. Cambiaso.
Rooney talked to behind the scenes at Milan, they still feel, even after all this time with Rafael out there, there's still so much more he can get. That ceiling really is limitless. It's what Ibrahimovic said when he first joined the club, that now just needed to realize how good he is. He's shown it at times when he's the former Serie A MVP in that season, won the Scudetto, so it's not like he's fallen under the radar. But his size, his characteristics, he's such a unique player. But he's been inconsistent the last few seasons, especially given the amount of raw ability and talent that he possesses.
McKennie launching in that long throw. Off of Loftus-Cheek will be another corner to Juventus. Gildes lifting it. Oh, David was in there waiting for it to come to him. Pulisic. Gatti with a strong shoulder. It's a freaking
They said Gildes' name. That's one of the players that are negative with people, and he said we have to try to take them out of the game, do whatever's possible. Most of the dangerous attacks have actually come down the opposite flank through Conceição against Rafael. But Tomori on that side, he's a good individual defender. When he's playing at his best, he's running full of confidence at the moment. Playing with some of the form that he showed when Milan last won the Serie A 3 years ago.
But then Dusan Vlahovic is getting ready to come on. Loftus-Cheek in that cross area eventually. He took a shot to a good settle from David. Gildes recover and going forward. Gildes trying to keep it out. It very much looks like a game that won't be about moments. There's already playing with fluidity. You're getting a steady stream of attacks and chances. There have been 2 big ones, neither defined. Locatelli. And a cross attempt from Kamyaza with a head away from Modric. That's the defender again. Yilmaz's cross is one for Modric. This player is going to draw an instant double team. Second, he gets the ball. Salmakers and Modric flying in. But it's not just Dujan Vlahovic, choice of Panda, Catherine Turan. Swapping out that forward line, but first final chances for Conceição and David as Yildiz lifts in. Header one from Rabiot. Locatelli, McKennie will chase it. But Conceição look across and Gabia. Diving header from Tomori, hook back in from Rugani. Locatelli to try and settle it, but touched it in the back of the out. More track, as it sails over. What an idea. Di Gregorio was scrambling.
Well, Di Gregorio was worried that that one was just going to dip in. That is the ingenuity of Leao. Took one quick look up. The element of surprise. He saw that Di Gregorio was way off his line and went for what would have been goal of the season. You don't see this often, but when it goes in, when it works, that was awfully close as well. He got that one to go down. It was so close to finding the target. So now with this change, you'd assume Turan's coming in for McKennie. Pender's just going to play off with Vlahovic. I don't think he's done his best work. His most prolific ever goal-scoring season at RB Leipzig. He played in a two-striker system next to Benjamin Sesko. He's going to replace Kenneth Yolt. It's a quiet game for him. Conceição more active on the right side. Milan desperate to just limit the touches and the involvement of Kenan Yildiz. Also remember that these Juventus players just played midweek. Milan did it. They had the full week to rest and prepare for this. Juventus played a grueling game against Villarreal. Vlahovic, who's done such good work off the bench at times this season as a super sub, now leading the line with Openda floating around him. Jonathan David was pretty much invisible.
Bar for that one moment where he slipped over one of the better chances of the game. So it is that entire front three that is replaced. And now a chance for Openda, who couldn't quite control that one. Taking out the play, out for a throw.
That's an incredible depth that Juventus have up front now. Jonathan David, Openda, Vlahovic for the striker position. Just behind Yildiz, Conceição, Shagrova. They really did reinforce through depth in some key areas, the two attacking midfield positions that Tudor likes to use in this formation. And that number 9 role.
Vlahovic looked over in towards Openda. Tomori in the way. 30 shots there from the ball. Coming from that crowd. Now Loftus-Cheek wants to get running. Shifty feet into Pulisic. Former Chelsea teammates to round the challenge in. It's that idea. Looked awkward, but let's see. Could have been on its way through. We didn't get a look at there. Final 20 minutes. As yet, the save for Magnan against Gatti and the penalty missed by Pulisic. Sent it over the bar. Openda. Vlahovic getting a touch forward. A lot of running for Openda to do to keep this one in play, which he was unable to do. Well, they let it run. Openda, low cross. Openda, second time.
Oh, Tomori just stopped playing.
Oh, the referee's going to stop playing here. And it's going to hold kick. The referee was holding it just in case it's checked. But that does then slow down the counterattack for Milan. You appreciate allowing the game to run to maybe give yourself a second chance over the decision, but this felt fairly clearly out of play here.
It was out of play, but still, Tomori's got to play the whistle.
There was no whistle from the referee. Tamori just decided to stop that he knew it was out, and he was correct, but still.
Listen, you do see the officiating in Serie A not just lenient over potential offsides, but fouls and, in that case, a goal kick. You wait to make sure that nothing comes of the action before blowing it dead. Can lead to confusion. Rabiot. Bakazagi. And Pulisic. Head of two will leave for Rabiot. Puts a good cross in, but Kelly won the head. Pavlovic. Now dummied on here for Modric, who takes up a wide position. Pulisic in space. Lift that cross in. Loftus-Cheek. Who steers it wide. The opening was there on that near post.
Oh, it's such a dangerous ball by Pulisic. Hard one for RLC to latch onto. I think Gregorio might have had that near post covered. Just a flash shot. Leao settles it quickly on his left foot. Just kind of scuffs at that effort. Expect from this position, Leao to be able to put it on target. Just drags it slightly wide. We should take that back. Certainly an opening for him to exploit from point-blank range. Definitely would have given Gregorio something to think about. 0.1 milliseconds.
Shoving it back there on Openda. Does result in a free kick. Mark that down as another big chance in the game for Rafael Leao. And now Christopher Nkunku will enter.
Now Milan showing some depth of their own. Nkunku, so much money paid for him from Chelsea, where he just was hampered by injuries. But this is a guy that scored at a world-class rate when he was in Germany. Started off as a midfielder at PSG and slowly worked his way forward. Now he's in this two-striker setup.
And we'll run with Leao. Leao tripped up from behind. Yellow card. Will come for Federico Gatti as well.
And just before Milan or Chelsea purchased him, Chris, he had a 35-goal, 16 assist season. Those are otherworldly numbers. There's not many footballers in history that have put up a stat season like that.
There's a reason why Chelsea paid a significant amount, even after struggles at Chelsea, paying $49 million for Christopher Nkunku.
Anytime you have more than 50 goal involvements in a season, unbelievable.
Modric short, Salmaker's trying from long distance, but that would have had to be special.
Another look at that ball whipped into the back post and the angle that was there. I think Gregorio was shifting across, but I mean, from that position, Leao could have just picked out that bottom corner, found that sliver of space.
Kenny gets towards Openda. Please, Openda. Didn't quite get it right.
That's one of the few times that Juventus have been able to exploit a rather high line, and just like that with the new entrant Openda, still shanks this effort. He's got to put this one on target. That's nowhere near troubling Magnan. Just like Jonathan David has yet to find his footing since coming over from the Bundesliga. He's already shown the ability to score in 2 European leagues. Had a great season in France. So moved over to Leipzig.
Leao. That push in the back, but nothing given for the referee. Leao and Nkunku coming in to that front two. Max, I like to saying in the build-up to this one that for those 2 forward positions, there's a lot of competition, but no matter who's in there from the start, they have to run and run a lot, because on 60 minutes, we'll change them. Obviously, Pulisic given the 73 minutes, but still very much about running until you're tired, even in 60 minutes of play.
And it's not a straightforward job now for Rogani, where he just has this big striker back to goal that he can bump into when he's receiving the ball. And Kunku and Leao will give them no reference point up top. There's going to be so much movement trying to drag the defenders out of place.
Got to hit in the channel and towards Vlahovic. Inviting Cambiaso into the play, like hitting a good idea. Wide for Kalulu. Will bend it into that area, but Modric in the way. Reads the game so well, doesn't he? The play for a throw in. Tudor gesturing himself into an untucked shirt.
Oh, he's an intense guy, Tudor, and he expects that sort of intensity on the pitch. And look at how much he loved that shoulder-to-shoulder from Locatelli, following Rabiot all the way out of the point.
Cambiaso curling one, but right in Manion. I've seen quite a few lottery tickets attempted from both teams in this game, but no jackpots hit as yet. Modric. Loftus-Cheek. Alexis Salmakers. Rabiot. Pavlovic. Getting it stuck in his feet. A game that the other top contenders in the league will be watching intently. Roma Napoli won earlier today. Inter won yesterday as well. Leao. And it's given as a throw to Juve. Rogani thrown into a difficult game, but he's been up for the challenge to play even a single Serie A minute before this one did come on as a sub in the Champions League. Draw with Villarreal. Here is Daniele Rogani. Juve enjoying their spell, but having a hard time pulling this team apart. Kelly. McKennie holding his position out wide. Cambiaso went central. The throw-in coming is Kalulu, able to win it for Juve. Entering the final 10 minutes of the game. Possession at an even 50-50. And now Igor Tudor is going to ask for the substitution to come in. And it's going to feel like Kostic will provide some weight on that left side, but looks as though he'll have to wait just a moment.
It's the best way to describe what Kostic does. He is an old-school winger or wingback. Just stays close to the touchline, steady stream of crosses. Looked like he was out of the plans of Juventus a few seasons ago. But just like Rogani is stuck around.
All the way back for Di Gregorio.
Just played a full season Turkish club Fenerbahce in Kostic.
Playing for Chelsea Mourinho. To his demotion. Nice step in there for Locatelli. There's a throw into the Rossoneri.
Both sides wearing their traditional shirts with their white and black stripes. Loftus-Cheek. Pavlovic. And Kuku. Pavlovic going down. Referee holding his whistle. Loftus-Cheek.
You saw Tudor gesturing right away. No, nothing happened to him. He's faking it. Pavlovic does look okay. Maybe Tudor was right.
Fired across for Tumori. This game very much two sides negating each other for long periods. Question is there a moment in the game? One more moment. We've had three in the second half. Another one which one of these sides will define and go on to win it. Kuku is possessed there by Rogani and McKenny, helping in that effort. Gatti. And Kuku is man down the middle there. Openda coming together there with Stein and Pavlovic. There's that moment off the ball. If Pavlovic does result in a Juventus free kick.
Little push up from Pavlovic. Certainly don't want Openda to make that run in behind you. But he's been kept quiet, just like Jonathan David. It's an impressive start for Milan's defense under Allegri. The main weakness of last season's squad that finished ninth. Just couldn't keep a clean sheet, and often would go down a goal or two before the half, especially in the Conceição era. They would always have to fight from behind. It's a completely different story this campaign.
A draw would be Juventus' fifth consecutive draw in all competitions. It's right, and this is, and McKinney picks up this one in towards Openda. Open a second half of it. Kalulu hit another early cross. Gatti is slower down the header, but never really.
Isn't that draw situation so strange? That was the storyline under Thiago Motta. Remember, all they did was draw or win, and they went undefeated for a long time, but too many of those were draws against teams that you probably felt they should have beaten.
Tonight might not be one of those games, but they draw away at Elas Verona. Honestly, it held on in the Champions League against Villarreal.
It's a great challenge from Luka Modric. Gets stuck in, still at 4.
Kalulu. Saw Gatti with that last header. There he is on the ball. Actually leads the game with 4 shots